Hi, everybody. I don't know why my video isn't showing, but it's supposed
Oh,
to show.
well,
Here we
we're
go.
all just staying here.
Yeah.
And they're probably like, what's wrong with those two?
No, we're not frozen, we promise. All right. Here's the intro, friends. Here's the intro. The intro isn't working, friends. Is that some sort of a signal from Spirit or what? One more time, we will try it.
Try it again. Well, I hope that intro is playing. Okay.
Don't know.
You
Anyways, we're here. We're live. Let's not screw it up, Kelly. Welcome to Sunday Connections, everybody. This is my friend Terri from Kigaru Spiritual Journeys, and we thank you for filling in. So she's filling in for Jean, who was scheduled to be here today, but Terri has graciously agreed to. I don't want to say that you're a fill-in, but you know what I mean.
I'm
Um,
feeling in Jean's shoes right now.
Right? Nothing wrong with filling in those shoes. Gina's awesome. So Terri is here. Her link is in the description box below the video. If you're not already familiar with Terri, first of all, she's lovely. I'm pleased that I can call her my friend, and she is an amazing medium. So if you're not already familiar with her, please do go check out her channel and show my friend some love. Uh, Thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone in the chat for being here. Terri wants to talk to us about a recent experience that she had about her about an Akashic Records uh, experience that she had, and I just want to take a moment and say hi to everyone in the chat. Vivian is here, and Ron is here. Lady Silver 1111 popped in to say that she's not sure if she could stay or come back, but she wanted to hit the thumbs up. So it was very kind. We appreciate the support. Anna Banana is in the house. Ron Unconditional Love is here. Hello, hello, everybody. And Tana is here. Hello, Tana. Pierrette White is in the house. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you. And I'm saying everything in a really weird way because Terri's on her phone and doesn't have the capability of looking at the chat. So I'm trying to say it in a way that she can understand what I'm saying instead of speaking as fast as I normally do. And friends, it's hot here. Oh my gosh, it's like 20 degrees. I'm melting. If I look red, that's because of how hot I am. Literally, I'm fan blowing. Like yesterday we had the heat on, today we've got the fan going. That's crazy. Anyway, welcome to Canada. Um, the floor is yours, my dear. Share away with your Akashic Record story.
Okay. Well, every time I prepare for one of these shows, I usually often try to think, is there any little chit chat I need to talk about or whatever? And I thought I would share. Basically, I have had an Akashic record reading by Robert Brunges, or we tend to call him Akashic Bob.
Yeah.
And it was both what I expected and nothing like I expected. And
Cool.
so I thought that was just kind of interesting to share because he's a very, so first of all, I want to let people know I can read my own Akashic records. I have been doing it for a little while, but I'm not very focused.
Right.
So, for instance, the first time I went to the Akashic records, I did it through a hypnotic thing on YouTube, where that
Okay.
I used that. And, my guides, in case you have never heard me read, my guides show me a fantastical world. I'm a clairvoyant, so I see, and I'm claircognizant, so I know. And they have to entertain me, or they feel like they have to entertain me. So it's all very entertaining. And when I went to my Akashic records, I thought I would get to go to this grand library with all these wonderful books, or this mystical place. They just took me to an English cottage in the countryside.
Okay.
So I was just in an English cottage. It was cool. It was beautiful woodwork. I was very impressed. They took me to the dining room, and there was a great big book on the table. But I also happened to glance out the window and saw that they had stables with horses in them. I went out to pet the horses, and then the little hypnotic thing stopped, and I didn't get to read anything. I was busy petting the horses.
Right.
Okay, so and I thought,
Well,
damn
because
it.
you're an animal lover, obviously.
And I'm like, dang it, did I just waste my one and only time, on petting horses? So I had decided, like, Terri, next time you get to go there, you're going to focus, Terri, focus.
Having said that, may I interrupt your story to say that horses are a symbol of being a free spirit. Horses are also about freedom, right?
Yeah.
They are about strength, they're about power. And so I think there is more to it than just you petting the horses. But go ahead with the rest of your story, my friend.
It's good. Thank you for pointing that out. You can always point out things with me because we always miss stuff.
Yeah.
So then the second time I went there, and so we haven't even got to Bob yet. Sorry, we'll get there eventually. The second time I went there, they took me to the very same place, to the same cottage, the same dining room. And around the window this time, though, there was all sorts of little books. There was a whole bookcase around the window. And the books were beautiful. They had the prettiest colored bindings, and they weren't like leather or anything. They were just like regular old-fashioned kind of canvas books.
I love that.
Ooh, they had pretty colors. And there was one book that it was a sunset, and it was alive. The sunset was moving, and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty.
Right.
The problem was I had a show coming up.
Right.
And I had just kind of gotten there too fast. And I'm like, okay, I have to do a show in like 10 minutes. And so I said, what happens if I touch that book?
Right.
And they said, you're going to go there to that life. And I'm like, now I know their language a little bit. I'm like, can you get me back in 10 Earth minutes? Earth minutes.
And I love that you're negotiating that. That's too funny.
And they're like, okay. And so I touch the book, and I go to this life a long, long time ago in Maui, Hawaii. And it was just beautiful. And really, I don't think I was actually human. But I took care of the earth, and I took care of the people there.
Right.
And some people who have heard me tell that story think maybe I was Lemurian, but it was amazing. And flying, swimming, flying, the whole, it was lovely.
Someone who when I had a reading with Wisdom Seeker Joan, and that was involved in my reading. We have a question from Pierre White. I'll pop it up on the screen because I know that you can't see the comments. She says, what would be the reason why I'm not able to get an Akashic record reading? I've asked, but so far nothing comes up from the readers, not even my own trying. I want to suggest, period, and I'm not trying to speak for Terri, but I would think that is not something that can be done. I mean, if this is what you're referring to, it's not really something that can be done in this kind of a format. It's probably something that needs to be like a personal or a private reading, I would think. It's very hard to tap into anyone's Akashic records with multiple energies and like in the chat kind of a format. I don't want to speak for you, Terri, but that would be my guess. I think that that's probably something that you could look into, is maybe ask one of the readers to give you a reading. Like one of the mediums, I'm saying, or someone, not just a medium, but someone who is able to tap into the Akashic records.
Purette, the way I read your question is that you've had people try and then it's not happening. I want to suggest a different point of view. So it turns out that when you're using your psychic abilities and your mediumship abilities, or when people are reading cards, they are using that very same energy. That's why some people, like, I don't know if you've ever watched Oracle of Whimsy, Dr. Whimsy, she often, before she reads, does the empath's prayer. And if you listen carefully to the empath's prayer that she's using, she asks permission to use the Akashic records. So the reality is we are all tapping into that Akashic record. So maybe instead of looking at it like I can't get a reading, sorry, I'm getting the chill. It's actually a little cold here today. Think about the fact that you already have had Akashic readings. Every time I've read you on Allie's channel or somebody else, I am, without knowing it, tapping into the Akashic record. So the
Right.
Akashic record is a record of our entire lives, our entire spiritual adventures. And it's technically, from what I've heard, is actually in our DNA. That it is actually part of us. And so, in essence, when I'm going to this little English cottage that I see, it's really inside of me. It's in my DNA. It's not. They're just showing me that so I have a way to interface.
Right, to connect to it. She did say that was what happened. So
Yeah.
so much for my psychic ability, right, friends? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So I think that if you think about it that way, it may give you a different perspective, and it may then open you up and allow you to have an actual reading. One of the reasons that I've been able to go back into my own records is because one of my best friends too, you guys all know her as Starfish. Starfish was reading one time, reading me and she had been reading somebody else, and she said, I was in the Akashic records and I saw you there. So
Wow.
here's what I think. If she can see me there, that means I've been there and I can go back there.
Right.
So if you know that you've already had sort of Akashic record readings by what we're doing, then you can go there and you can have a reading.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's I mean, it just the thought of it, I think is kind of beautiful, right? That if you want to go there, you can, right? If you allow yourself to get quiet and meditate, and I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah.
So I say all the time here, sorry, Terry, I say here all the time, because you get lots of questions about the process and the journey and how do you do this and how do you pick the cards and how do you. The best lesson that I have learned throughout this last year, I think I needed to learn personally, but it was taught to me in a way that had nothing to do with me personally. It was about what we're doing here. And that is trust. You've got to put your trust in spirit. You've got to put your trust in how this works. You got to put your trust in the system, the function of it, how it all sort of comes together. You just got to be open to it. You can't have any blocks. You can't have any barriers. You just got to be really open and ready to accept whatever comes forward, right? And I like that because there's not many things in our adult life that we get to be like that with, right?
Right.
Usually there's stipulations and obstacles and roadblocks and all sorts of things. But this whole spiritual journey, tossing cards, tapping into spirit, that connection, this is very much a roadmap of anything can happen as long as you put your faith and your trust in it, and you allow yourself to be open to the experience, right?
Right. Yeah.
So love.
And
Hi
I,
everybody.
I also feel like be accepting. If they won't show it to you for a while, that's okay. They,
Yeah,
they will eventually, but
yeah,
maybe right now is not the time.
100%.
Um, yeah. So I've been back and saw a couple different lives, and each time I go there, they kind of enliven a book that draws my interest. I've never
Nice.
looked at the big book on the table yet. So one of the reasons that I booked Bob, even though I could go there, is because of focus. I obviously don't have a super ton of focus because they just focus me on a pretty book.
Right.
Ooh, that's pretty. Can I? What happens there?
I have this deck. It's called the Akashic Tarot.
Oh,
And it's really interesting because when I got it, I thought it was like a past lifey kind of Akashic recordy kind of thing. It
mhm,
turns out it is, but it's not. It's more like a relationship thing. It is a completely different system. It is not at all a tarot system. It's designed like a tarot deck, but it's completely different. And oh my gosh, it's a lot. That means I have to learn. I think there's 60 some odd, 62 cards. I have to learn 62 cards in a
wow.
completely different way than I did tarot. So you don't often ever see me pull these out, but because we're talking about it, if anyone does throw tarot, or if anyone is interested in the Akashic records, you could check into this and see if this might help you in terms of connecting. Is where I just sort of looked over and went, oh yes, I have that.
Hmm. That's cool.
Spiritual Rain, pop it in the chat, love, if you have a question.
Yeah. So, the thing is that the Akashic record is not just for looking at past lives. That's what I've been seeing recently, but it's for a lot of different things. And that Kelly, you were talking about the fact that it can be used to ask, why am I always drawn to X behavior? Or
Yes.
why does this thing always trip me up? Or, so it can be used for that to
Yeah.
do, to look at those things, to heal them,
Yes.
because
To
if
heal
you know,
them, to release them, and more importantly, just to understand and stop sort of blaming yourself, really, that you display or have this tendency or display that type of behavior, right?
right,
um, that is so important because we question ourselves all the time. And I have anxiety panic disorder and depression, and Nancy Jean I volunteered to be like a guinea pig on her show when she did past life reading, and it came out. I've had two, but it came out, and it came out in both in different ways, why I behave in a certain way. And I literally walked away feeling a sense of relief, like this is not my fault. I was born this way. I came here with this, you know what I mean? Like I just accepted it and moved forward. Now I don't give it a second thought anymore. But for 10
mhm,
years I have been going, oh my God, why? If I could only release that, if I could only fix that, if I could only curb that habit. And like in an instant, it was
yeah,
gone.
yeah. Um,
Um, I don't want to interrupt you, but I do. I just want to say something. Tana has had to leave, so we say goodbye to Tana. Thank you for joining us, Warrior Girl. Number one, you can ask anything that you want. Number two, please don't ever apologize for oversharing. I love that you feel safe and comfortable enough to do so, and we will answer your question as soon as we get to the questions. We will put you first. Okay. You hang in there, honey. Go ahead, Terry.
okay, cool. So I booked Robert to read my Akashic record because I wanted to go back to the original blueprint of this life. when I was in heaven preparing for this life, what was supposed to happen? What was the original blueprint? And then I had a couple more questions because recently the angels and spirits have given me a job. They've given me something to do. And I always hear people, in our circles talk about, I got downloads. And I thought, oh yeah, well, I get ideas too. But
Yeah.
this time I actually got a download where it was like I was just hit with so much information and realized this is a big project, a long-term project I have to do. And but then the downloads kind of slowed down for a little bit, and I know we're in the middle, and I'm like, I hope I'm not on my own here now. I hope you can keep helping me because it's a lot to take on the rest of it. I
Yeah.
need your help, and so I wanted to know, are they going to keep going? And then other little things. What I didn't want to know is how many past lives I've lived, because I can go look at that myself. I really wasn't so interested in like what planets am I from, and and I wasn't so interested in like how is my relationship, with my husband, and what things have we done together that maybe I have to heal or something. I wasn't really interested in that. So what I'm also telling you about these questions is that if you book an Akashic record reading, make sure you know what you want. Write down some questions ahead of time,
Questions are so important.
and make sure that you know what you want to know and what you can't. I mean, because what I really want to know is the future. Okay, I want Akashic future. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
That would be very helpful, wouldn't
Wouldn't it
it?
though?
Yeah, just
It
wouldn't
would
it?
be
So I knew I
awesome.
couldn't do that. Um, but I kind of wanted to check my progress against that blueprint, and whatever. So so here's where it was so interesting. So remember I said, well, I don't really want to know about what planets I'm from or anything like that. Because I can see that too already.
Right.
It was all about that. So I
Of
didn't
course it
tell him
was.
what I didn't want to know. I didn't tell him that. I thought there would be a time to talk about it. There wasn't. And right away, I did tell him all the questions, but it didn't matter. The questions all blended together. And so while we never actually laid out the blueprint and looked at it exactly, we looked at the blueprint where this project comes in. And oh my God, he got so much because he's knowledgeable and he
Yes.
can focus better than I can.
Right.
And it's hard to focus on yourself. I don't
100%.
like reading on it.
Yeah.
He
I
doesn't
do
have
I do
anything.
it I do it all the time, Terry.
Yeah,
I do my daily readings every day, and I pull those cards out, and I will walk away from the reading, and probably 50% of the time it dawns on me like an hour later when I'm making a tea in the kitchen or something like that, like, oh heck, that was for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not I am so,
right.
because there was no question, to your point that you said a few moments ago about how important the question is. Because there was no question, I was asking for the collective. Well, I am the collective when I'm by myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's me and the cat. So like, it happens that way. Question
Yeah.
is important. Yeah.
So it was very interesting, and I think the main message I got is I'm not alone. They
No.
will give me more information. I did get, I already knew I got a new guide to help me with this, an angelic guide.
Nice.
And I learned their name. And so that made me feel so much better because I was kind of like, if I have to finish this the rest of the way on myself, how am I going to get it done before I die? You know?
You have to have
And
faith in yourself. You're gonna get it done.
yeah, it's a big thing. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm happy with that. Um, when so one of the things Kelly and I were also talking about the fact that, Akashic records can be used to look at past lives, for healing. But you can do that many other ways too.
Mhm.
You can always do hypnosis regression with make sure you get a certified, trustworthy person to do that with you, and then
Right.
you're actually going back yourself. But you can also have past life readings, like with Nancy Jean, if she
Yeah.
does it cards. I,
And her.
Jean and I, and a lot of other people do past life readings. Sometimes it's more a like if that I don't want to say I always can do it, because
Right.
it's a little bit about permission. Do I
Yes.
have permission to go and do
Right.
that? And I haven't been turned down yet, but you know, there could be a first time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know my guides are very, very playful with me when I get to read somebody for a whole hour rather than the speed dating we usually do on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
The speed readings. Yeah.
they use so much fun stuff. Like one lady I was reading.
Sorry, I'm
Uh,
laughing at my cats. Friends,
oh,
the leaves are falling off the trees, and my cats have literally spent the last 3 to 5 days every time a leaf blows across the view of the screen, thinking that they are Garfield and literally trying to like attach themselves to the screen, and like they're in like attack mode over a leaf, and it's like how many leaves are going to blow past until you recognize that that is a leaf and it's not coming for you. Do you know what I mean? But like this has been nonstop, like nonstop. Anyway,
mhm.
I apologize. Sorry, it just made me giggle.
It so like when I was reading her past life, my great grandfather, who's one of my stage crew,
Yeah,
he he came out, he wheeled out a 5-layer cake like from Pinterest, a
nice.
pretty cake. And another ancestor though came forward, and because she wanted a past life reading,
Right,
and they sliced the cake. And as they were laying the cake over on a platter, the slice, it grew to 19 layers. And each layer was a different color. Like there was a pink one, a vanilla one, a chocolate one, a marbled one, all these different colors of cake. And so I described all the layers to her and had her pick a layer.
right.
And then we went to my life. And it was amazing, because when I read past lives, the most important question is it's not enough to just be a voyeur in this life. The important question is what are they to learn from it?
Right.
What do they bring forward? Um,
The dog
I
has something to say too. See the
Yeah.
cat chasing leaves and then go ahead. Go ahead.
Just a second. I'm just going to put you on hold here, and I'm going
Yeah,
to shush the dog.
no problem. Spiritual Rain, thank you for saying that. That's hysterical. I mean, I know about the whole leaf thing. I mean, but every time they do it, I just think it's funny. And I want to also say to you that I always give the truth when I do my readings. I try to. Well, I mean, you've been here enough times, you know how I do it, right? I try to wrap it up in a way that is comfortable. Um,
Mhm.
but like I appreciate the fact that we have so many people in here today that are asking really important questions. It means an awful lot to me that you come here and that you have faith and trust in what we're doing and in the channel, that you feel safe enough to share right in that space. So
Yeah.
hang in there, friends. We're about to get started, and we got you.
Well, we could get started if you want, because I I have a ton of stories, and so sometimes it's not appropriate to tell them all the time. But
It's all good. It's all good. Uh,
okay,
I love hearing about your Akashic record story. And I want to say this to you because it's interesting, and people, as we were talking backstage, uh, not a lot of people know what it actually is or what it means to have an Akashic records reading. And so it's interesting that you want to share this information so that people can understand what blah, 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 what one might expect from an Akashic records reading, or if that's something that they actually want, right?
Right.
Maybe they didn't know that they needed it or wanted it, and now maybe they think that they might. So by you explaining what happened. So I want to ask you, what was your takeaway from the Akashic records reading that you had? How did it make you feel? Did it make a difference? Did it change something?
Um, it did change something. It made me relax that the whole project is not suddenly on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And they gave me another bit of it. While he was actually talking, but we're at the end, they suddenly gave me a teeny tiny little download again, another bit of it. I think just to assure me, yep, we're still here. We're still going to help you. Don't worry about it.
I love that.
He had said that, but them actually saying, we really mean it, here's another little bit, just made me feel so good and made me feel calmer.
Yeah.
And I also felt like I had made a good decision, that I could have kept trying to read my own, but the problem is my ego is going to get in the way.
Right.
And so it was the right decision to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And
I want you to know, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Warrior Girl says, you're awesome, Terri. I love your energy. Spiritual Rain says, Terri, I love your scarf or your sweater or your blanket or whatever you've got on you.
it's my throat. It's cold. Kelly is sweating and I am shivering because it's cold.
And Vivian says, I like the stories. So I just wanted you to know that people were appreciating you explaining your experience. So
Yeah. So I think you should just realize that you can use the Akashic records in multiple ways. They're just a part of you, and it's it it's a little bit like that old story where they say, if you put your finger right here, you can't see your finger.
right.
You're close to it.
Right.
It's a perspective.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself.
Yeah.
You can have others do it. And technically, I guess when I'm reading you today, we're actually there. So
Right.
that's I guess where I'm getting some of this information, so
I
far as
love
I know.
that. I love it. Thank you, everyone, for being here. New people have popped into the chat. Spiritual Rain is here, and Warrior Girl, and Genealogy Junkie, and Monique is here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to Vivian and Anna, who are putting your links and my links in. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Genealogy Junkie says Kelly is hot stuff and Terri is a cool chick.
Thank you.
What you said, Genealogy. So I would like to get started, and I hope that everybody is okay with this. I'm going to we have 6 questions, but I'm going to, and I don't normally do this. I normally go in order or try to go in order, but I'm gonna go with Warrior Girl's question first, and I feel like it's important. So she says, what guidance does Spirit have for me through this horribly trying time? I'm almost ready to throw in the towel, Kelly. For some reason, you make me overshare here. Sorry if I've made anyone feel uncomfortable. And that's why I said what I said before. Don't ever apologize. You're not making anyone uncomfortable. And I just want to say to you, Warrior Girl, before we get started, if you are still feeling like you need some more information or whatever, feel free to send me an email I'm always willing to assist if I can in any way. So my email's in the description box below the video. So feel free to reach out to me. And if I can help, I'm happy to try. Okay. Having said that, warming up. No, I'm kidding. There is no warming up.
You're already hot.
I am hot. I'm already warmed up. Trust me. I'm on fire. All right, warrior girl, spirit. I apologize if you guys can hear lawnmowers and stuff because it's so warm here. Everyone's like, woohoo. Gardening time, right? It's a lot easier to do gardening in 80 degrees than it is 3. Trust me.
Warrior girl, if you wouldn't mind in the this is part of this bad time about a job. I'm just wondering, but I'm seeing something completely different. So my reading doesn't really change whether it's job related or not. But
hi, Allie. Warrior girl, don't. First of all, if you need to release, then release. Don't apologize for releasing. That's what crying is. It is a display of emotion that needs to come out of you. And believe it or not, you will feel better when you have done that. And let's give a code word to Warrior Girl, everybody. For those of everyone here knows what the code word is, everyone give a code word to Warrior Girl because I think that she needs it. Hi, Elizabeth Huntley. All right. Sorry, I have like a weird thing going on in my thumb where my thumb is like clicking. And this morning, it's like when I'm sleeping, I'm holding my whole body weight by my thumb. So it like gets stuck in a position and then I had to. So I apologize.
Girl, they're showing me. They're showing me like a great big angel, and I should have warned you ahead of time, Kelly. It's just a lot of angel energy today. They're just all over right now. I see them holding you like a baby, like a swaddled baby, and kind of rocking you. And I feel like they're doing this when you're sleeping to help energize you, to recharge you. And I think they want you to know that you are dear to them. You are dear to them like a little baby. That they just pour their heart love, their spirit love out on you all the time. You know, we came here for the adventure, and sometimes the adventure is not fun. But you know, if you picked up a book at the library and it was all good all the time, it would probably be the most boring book you ever read. So we didn't come here for boring. We came here for an adventure. And so you are on the adventure, but they want you to know you're not alone, that you can call on them anytime for help. And I think that you can, whenever you need to, just kind of maybe imagine yourself being swaddled and held by angels, held in their spiritual embrace. Because I just feel a super amount of tenderness for you. Okay, that's
I'm getting some super interesting. I apologize because the lawnmower is getting louder. So I hope that you guys let me know if you can still hear me. Okay. Actually, bear with me for just 1 second. I'm gonna holler, so I'm gonna mute myself.
okay. I love a little hollering.
Right? I'm calling for my husband, but he's not answering, so I'm going to close the door. Now you get to see that I'm not sitting in my pajamas, that I really do have a whole outfit on.
Oh my. Warrior girl, I hope you can feel their love because they do love you a lot. And you're going to learn a lot through this little jaunt.
Hi, Elizabeth Huntley. Thanks, everyone. I did close the questions because we have 7 of them. So I want to say, Warrior Girl, I got a whole whack load of cards out for you. So I'm not going to try to sort of rush this, but I think that the cards that I have seem quite like they make sense to me. So I hope that they make sense to you. We start out with the Ace of Fire. This is the Ace of Wands. Okay, so this is your energy from the past. This is opportunities and creativity and action. And then we have the Two of Earth, or the Two of Pentacles. This is about balance, right? Trying to walk that tightrope that we all do. I feel like this could have something to do with, this is either like a family problem or a relationship problem. I mean, it could be like a coworker problem. But I've got the Two of Water, or the Two of Cups, right? It's about partnerships, soulmates, commitments, relationships. It's also an opportunity, like it's about those two coming together, but it also can be about a reconciliation, right? So having an argument with someone and then trying to make up, right? We have the Three of Water. This is about a celebration. This is about friendship. It's lunch with your best friends, right? It's that kind of lovely energy. It's also about community, so your support system. And the Two of Water, the Three of Water, and then this next card, which is the Page of Fire, okay, are sort of how you're feeling right now based on the cards. The Page of Fire is about being motivated, being enthusiastic, being creative, which is nothing what you have said. You're saying that you're ready to throw in the towel. And I feel like if we can lift you up a little bit, that you may be able to then tap into that. And so what I want to say to you is just stepping aside from the reading for a moment. Sometimes in my personal experience, I wasn't able to release on command. Like, you need to let go of this, Kelly. Okay, great. And nothing would happen. I actually felt worse, not better. Until I started to release it creatively without realizing that I was releasing. So I would just write in my journal. I would crochet, and design a blanket with all the colors and the patterns and all that kind of stuff. I would draw. I did my own oracle deck. I didn't do any artwork. I just wrote a bunch of words. But being able to lay it all out allowed me to focus on something different. And while I was expressing myself creatively, I was letting some of that go, because all of the things in those cards are the things that matter to me, right? They have importance because of whatever I was holding on to, if that makes sense. And you can also do a release ceremony too. Moving on, okay? Your challenge right now, which is why you feel the way that you do, is this is the Tower card in the traditional tarot. In this deck, it's called Transformation, okay? It's life change. It is literally, the sheet that's pulled out from underneath the table, out from the tablecloth being pulled out from underneath the dishes, and we hope to God that the dishes don't fall on the floor. It's that moment, okay? On this card, I love it because what it says is realization, life change, and reconciliation, right? So the realization that, oh crap, the oh crap is the life change. And then it's like, how do I pick myself back up? That's your challenge, obviously. The last card that we have is the Nine of Fire. This is your potential outcome. This is putting up your personal boundaries. This is protecting yourself. This is being resilient. This is being determined. that you're going to make it. So think of yourself climbing up a mountain. You're like the little engine that could. You're one step away from getting to the top of the mountain and sticking your flag in and claiming that territory. But you're exhausted. You are tired. You have been trying so hard, pushing so hard, working so hard. That's when you need a little extra help from your friends, right? That's when you need a little extra self-care, a little extra self-love, a little extra encouragement and embrace, right? To give you the extra nutrients that you need to get to the last step. But hang on, because you're at a 9. The 10 is the next step, and this is the 9. So you're right there. So protect yourself. The reason why I'm going on about the protection is because,
well, look at the angel behind that.
oh no, absolutely. But I literally have 3 cards from 3 different decks that I pulled out as your oracle cards that are all about protection. That's why I wanted to point that out. On the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Earth. So I'm not sure if this is the person that you are thinking of, or that you have an issue with, or has caused, or maybe at the core of the upset, shall I call it. It meaning this person is possibly an earth sign, but that's what's on the bottom of the deck. So here we go. We have Angel Zedkiel and surrender. You need to give yourself permission and tell yourself that it's okay, first of all, that you feel the way that you do, acknowledge it, and then start to release it. You need to surrender it somehow, some way. And I want to say to you, the most amazing experience that I've ever had, very quickly. Jean, Sun Psychic Jean, did a reading for me. I had been carrying this crap for 10 years. That's not a joke. It's not a lie. It's not an exaggeration. 10 years. It literally ruined my life. And in a moment, it was not a problem anymore, because Sun Psychic Jean got through her guides and my guides working together. There I am. I'm driving a car and I'm going along the highway, and there's a suitcase beside me, and I pull over the car and I take the steering wheel off the car, and I take the steering wheel and I put it inside of the suitcase. And then I close the suitcase. I lock the suitcase. Now my mother is standing there with her hand extended, saying, "Those burdens were never yours. Hand them over to me. Surrender them to me." And I handed the suitcase over. And it changed my life. Literally changed my life. That is where the healing began. And then I did a forgiveness ceremony, which is on the channel. If you need any help in that department, you let me know. As I said in the email, it's a great way to release. So the next thing that I have is visualize a shield of protection. Okay. To protect yourself from toxic people or situations, imagine a shield of white light surrounding your body. This keeps negativity out and lets positive energy in. Okay. Last card I got is from the root chakra, or the base chakra. We have home. Okay. This is your shelter. This is your safety. This is your nurturing. And this is warmth. So exactly how Terri is sitting there in her cozy throw, wrapped up, embraced, right? She's holding on to herself. She's giving herself lots of self-love right now, right? And I feel like that is the ticket. So mirror work is a great way to increase your self-love. It's also very powerful as a warning with your emotions. So all kinds of things are going to come out of you. Journaling is a soft way of doing a release. You can take a bath or a shower and say out loud, "I release what I need to release," and watch it roll off your body and down the drain, right? Take yourself outside and smell the flowers and allow yourself to take in the living things that are all around you, and appreciate the simplicity of the living things that are around you, because that literally will pick you up. What you need to do in this moment when it comes to releasing whatever your release is about, you have to do a couple of things. Number one, you have to shift your thinking. every time a negative thought comes into your mind, you recognize it, acknowledge it, and say, no, I'm going to replace those words that are negative with positive words, because that's the ticket to stop looking at things from a negative perspective. Not saying that you look at everything from a negative perspective, but even that the situation that's causing the upset, right? If you can. That's the first thing. The second thing, do this simplicity thing, like I said, walking outside, appreciating the trees and the leaves and the sun and the flowers and the fragrance from the flowers and the insects and the little critters that are running all around right now. Because in those simplistic moments and understanding that everything out there has an energy in it, you start to feel the sort of freedom of that simplicity. I want to say, I don't think that's the right word, but that's the word I've chosen, the freedom of that simplicity. And then you literally are starting to lift your vibration, right? When you lift your vibration up, that's when you can invite some peace in. That's when you can invite some happiness and some positivity, some joy. Turn the stereo on and dance around the living room, right? Have a carpet picnic on a Friday night, right? Buy yourself a bouquet of flowers. Plant yourself a herb garden in the kitchen if you can't go outside or don't have access to the outside, right? Get yourself a smoky quartz. It's a very soft, grounding stone that's not going to like overpower you or make you feel some sort of way. It's very soft, very soothing. You can even take your hands and put your hands over your heart and tell yourself how much you love. You can self-comfort or self-soothe yourself by doing that. I have 100 million tips that I could give you. So, like I said, I hope that this helped. Know that we love you and that we support you and that we're here for you. And if you need any more, feel free to email me and I'll do whatever I can to assist, okay? I hope that helps, my friend. I hope we haven't lost her because nothing else has happened in the chat. I hope we haven't lost her. Sorry, that took a long time, but I felt it was important. So I appreciate everyone's patience. All right, now we will go back up here and we will get Pierrette. So that was the question about the reason why I'm not able to get an Akashic record reading. We've already done that. So now we have Miss Anna Banana asking, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce this because I will butcher it. Something, so Dia
los Muertos.
Okay, what Terri said keeps popping into my head. Not a day I usually celebrate. Why is it being so insistent? Interesting.
So by the way, Anna Banana, I get this sense that the Day of the Dead, that's what that means, the Day of the Dead, they are asking you to let go of what doesn't work for you, to allow those things to have a symbolic death. And really it's a way of opening up yourself to something new. It's really not so much about death, so much is about embracing new life, new spirit, new everything. But you have to honor the dead. You have to honor the things that no longer work, because they did work for a long time. They did work. Mm-hmm. And now it's over. Now it's time to let them go. Sometimes, and I'm suddenly getting this idea that it's not just things, that it might be.
It's a person.
People. Yeah, I was going to say people. It's like people.
It's a very specific person.
Oh, okay. Well, because I was getting even necessary. It could even be somebody who's already passed on too. That there's somebody that you might have to let go. You have to honor that spiritual death, You have to, and it is about, I'm glad you spoke up, Kelly, because it is about people.
Yep.
But for all of us, the Day of the Dead, or Dia los Muertos, is about honoring those who have passed on, honoring that which served us but now no longer serves us, and
Right.
letting it go.
Right.
And letting new, that gives room for new life, new people, new everything.
Yes, ma'am. I just decided I needed another card. I don't know why, but I can't explain why, or how that happens. It's like, just do it. Don't argue. Okay.
When I'm reading, I just do it too. Whatever they
Right.
say to do, I'm doing.
Yeah. Just do it. All right, my friend on a banana. So we start out with the King of Air in the reverse. Okay. So this is energy coming in from the past. I'm not sure if this person is an actual air sign, but this person is, the man in charge, knowledgeable and respected, and the truth seeker, and the guy who's got all the answers, everything figured out, because he's very strategic and very logical and very much a sort of planner, right? He's a great communicator. That's his energy in the positive. And I don't want to out all of your business, but I don't feel like this card is in the reverse because the qualities of a king of swords is in the reverse. I think it's in the reverse because it was trying to point it out to me that this is what it might be about, if that makes sense. Next card that we have is the Four of Air. This is reconciliation, contemplation, meditation, right? It's recuperation. All of those lovely words. It's that time where you allow yourself to just be quiet and sort of think with acknowledging a thought or a thought pattern or a behavior or a behavioral pattern or an emotion or an emotional pattern without going past the acknowledgement of that thought, right? It's accumulating all those thoughts. So you're trying to figure something out. That's what that state is. There you go. Okay. We've got the Three of Fire. This is goals. It's expansion. It's your vision, your hopes, your dreams. Where do you want to go? What's the plan, right? What's the plan? We've got the Six of Air, moving away from stormy waters to a safer harbor, to a safer shore, things starting to sort of ease up, right? It's relief, it's hope, it's moving on, getting past stuff. We've got the crystal quartz. This is focus. Focus. Focus, focus, focus. And more focus. And lastly, we have from Archangel Jophiel, meditation. So you've got recuperation, meditation, contemplation, you've got focus, you've got goals and expansion and vision and meditation. So get quiet, allow yourself to just be still and be in the moment. And I think the reason that this is happening for you, that this is being so insistent, is because it's urging you to deal with it. Let it out, break down the barriers, break down the walls, open up the doors, and release. That's what I think that's what that message is. I hope that helps, my friends. All right, here we go with the next question. And that is Miss Vivian asking for a message from her ancestors, please. thanks everyone for hanging out with us today. I know we're going a little bit long, but I appreciate all of you being here. And of course, we appreciate Terri being here. Please do go show my friend some love. If you're not already familiar with her channel, it is Kigaru Spiritual Journeys. She is lovely. She's my friend, and I like her. So please do go check her out. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It's appreciated when you share the love.
Yes, it is.
You're welcome.
Kelly too. She just made a huge milestone, so she's on to her next milestone.
Thank you. It's so sweet. Yay. Things tarot readers are not supposed to say out loud. We're not supposed to make those sounds. Sorry.
Yeah. What? Okay. So I just have to go with what they gave me, and they didn't put it on the stage, so it was a little different. But I generally don't hold crystals while I read, but I had one on my table, so I picked it up just as your question came on, kind of unconsciously. And this is,
wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So I picked it up, and they brought it to my attention. Look what you have in your hand. Look what this is for her. And when I just bought this not too long ago, and it just called to me when I was at the last metaphysical fair, and I absolutely had to buy this. Had to buy it. It called out to me. That lady could have probably named just about any price she would, and I would have bought it. Right. But if you look at it, the reason I'm doing this is that the lines go all the way around. And my granddaughter picked this up and said, "Grandma, do you know that this is a wishing rock? This is wishing. When it goes all the way around, you can make a wish." And they reminded me of that, saying that right now, for you, you have a little bit of a magical time, and you can make a wish and manifest something right now. So think about it. Think about what you want to manifest, because they're saying you have free will to do that right now and to have it happen. So
yeah,
there you go.
I have such crazy cards, Vivian. You know, sometimes when people ask questions and the cards come, like I said before, you have to really trust in what you get. So I hope that this makes sense to you, Vivian, or hope that you can help me make it make sense to you. Let's put it that way. So we start out with the 10 of fire, or the 10 of wands. This is a heavy burden. Okay. This is stress. This is being overworked, feeling imbalanced, like everything is coming down on you. That's the energy coming in from the past. So that's how you were feeling, possibly. And the reason that I say possibly is because this is a message from your ancestors. So it's possibly that they're acknowledging that they know that you have had that experience, or because this is them saying that, if that makes sense, right? We have the Ace of Air. So the Ace of Air is about inspiration. It's about communication. It's about making adjustments. So then I start to think that they are telling me a story here, right? You were stressed, or overworked, feeling imbalanced. Then you got an inspiration. You started to make some adjustments, and you started to learn to speak your truth, use your voice to communicate effectively what your wants, needs, etc. were, to lift yourself up, to help yourself, right? Okay. All right. So So now that you've said that, so Vivian's just said dealing with past trauma, so the stress card makes sense. Okay. So this is the card in the middle. So the Ace of Air, communications, inspiration, and adjustments. So the message for that is for you to start to open up your throat chakra to allow yourself to communicate your wants, your needs, your emotions, etc. Right? Standing up for yourself, telling people how you feel, sharing your story with others as a means of looking for support or possibly assisting another person who may be going through something similar, right? Making those adjustments and communicating that. Once you start to do that, it's going to inspire you to continue to do that because you're going to start to feel better, right? We have the Knight of Earth or the Knight of Pentacles. This is someone who is going after their dreams. This is someone who is taking all of the resources that they have in a very organized way, supporting themselves, others around them, and sort of going after it, right? So that's your inspiration. That's what's happened when you've made the adjustments and you've made the throat chakra communication skills more effective and to benefit you in a better way. And then once all that falls into place, then that's where the organization is, because you've literally brought all that together, right? You are now feeling more supported and you are feeling like you are making strides forward, which is beautiful. On the bottom of the deck, as an interesting note, we have the King of Water, okay, the King of Cups. Someone who is compassionate, someone who is understanding, and someone who's trustworthy. So I don't know if this is your ancestor talking or if there's someone in your life that is a water sign. Or this could just represent sort of how you're feeling at this moment. And I don't know if you're feeling like overly emotional. I have to tell you that I feel like this is someone that you can count on. There's someone in your life that you can count on that is that sort of has those qualities, right? Someone who's compassionate and understanding and trustworthy. Someone that you can confide in. So I'm not sure if you know who that is or not, but that's what I feel. I could be wrong. Interestingly, though, I have some crazy cards that come after that. Number one, I've got this phase entanglement. Okay. This is like drama. It's emotional influence. So people telling you what you should feel, how you should do things, what you should be thinking, etc. Drama. Friends sort of, well, just relax, Vivian. Everything's fine. You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. You tell those people to, you know what? Just saying. We have the third eye chakra in intuition. On the bottom of that card, it says trust, insight, awareness, and guidance. So ask spirit, your past over loved ones, your ancestors for assistance. Ask them before you go to sleep. If they can share with you in a dream, ask them as you go throughout the day if they can give you a sign or a symbol or a synchronicity, something that can confirm for you that they are hearing you. Talk to them. They are always around. They are always listening. And if you ask them for a sign, they will usually send it to you in the form of a song or a synchronicity, like a time, different numbers, that kind of thing. Ask them. Ask them to help. We've got this card, the vast universe. And I sort of feel like this message literally is telling you that you are a limitless being, right? We are everywhere. You have the ability to be everywhere. So don't limit yourself. Don't hold yourself back. Does that make sense? And this is beautiful. We have achievement, milestone. I feel like you're going to be able to step out of this sort of stressful time period and feel a great sense of accomplishment because you were able to sort of clear the cobwebs, for lack of a better way to put it. Does that make sense? So that's what I got for you. I hope that helps. I think it's a lovely message. Just really try to open up your throat chakra. And the best advice I ever got to open up my throat chakra was to crank the music and sing to the top of my lungs, because it literally opens your throat chakra. And who doesn't want to sing to the top of their lungs? When I do it, the cats are crying. All the cats in the neighborhood are crying because, friends, I do not have a good singing voice. Let me just say that. But that's great advice, and it's fun. You're welcome, Miss Vivian. Appreciate you, my friend. Hi, Gina. Hi, everyone that's popped in. Thank you so kindly. It's so nice to have Allie in the chat too. We don't often have Allie here because she's so gosh darn busy, but we appreciate her. By the way, friends, Circle of Friends Tarot is my collaborative channel with Allie from Heart and Soul Connected. We are on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and this week we will be doing some new moon readings. So I hope you can tune in for that. Miss Spiritual Rain says, what is the best way to handle an easily offended loved one? Love them, can't handle them at times. I want to be a kinder person. Thanks. First thing I'm going to say to you is this. You know, everybody talks about putting up personal boundaries. Well, that's easier said than done when it's like your mom or your dad or your brother or, you know, your husband or your wife, you know, daughter, son, someone that lives in your home. You know what I mean? That might be difficult. But you can protect yourself from those people. Of course, you can do all the spiritual things about putting, you know, white light bubble protection around yourself and shields and mirrors and all that. It can be something as simple as saying to them, you know what, I'm super busy right now, but I've got 10 minutes. So you are putting up a boundary in that instance by protecting yourself that you're only going to allow so much, right? You have to make a contract with yourself almost that you are not going to allow yourself to be pulled into that. And that's why you would put up that personal boundary, whatever that boundary is to you, and just say, you know what? I only have 10 minutes right now. Trying to literally protect yourself so you don't get pulled into that kind of negative energy. When it is the I just can't right now. You know what I mean? I am smelling perfume like crazy. I don't know why. Sorry.
Who does perfume remind you of?
My grandmother.
Oh, she might be around.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if she was around, but because my grandfather's birthday was literally 2 days ago. He would have been 108 years old. And then my dad's birthday was the next day. So I wouldn't be surprised if my mom or my grandmother is around, but it definitely smells like my grandmother. It smells like my grandmother. My Nana. Hi, Nana. Just want to know if I'm the problem or not, maybe. Well, Spiritual Rain, I don't want to I want this to come out in the way that it is intended. That is negative. So that whole statement, cross that off with the biggest marker that you can find, right? Other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions and opinions are theirs. It's not yours. It's theirs.
Yeah.
Because you are family and you're saying that you need to work together, then you need to find a way to make it easier for you to be in their energy when they are in that place. And so the best way to do that is to protect yourself by putting up a personal boundary. Don't own that stuff. Don't own it. Don't own that. Yeah. The perfume is a nay. If you know what that perfume is, it's a very fruity, sort of light, sort of springy kind of, you know what I mean?
Oh, now I'm smelling it.
It could be my mom, because my mom used to wear that, but mostly my Nana. Oh, it is my mom. Oh my God, I just totally got chills. You know what? Sorry, I digress, friends. I just ruined the whole show. Literally, my mom, I don't know why. This is so weird. My mom had on her nightstand a bunch of perfumes, little mini bottles. It was a little mini collection that we bought her. You know how you get those sets with all the mini bottles? And every day I would walk in to her room and I would grab the little bottle of perfume, which was only like, this big, just tiny. And I take a squirt, and I always do this. Friends, don't tell anyone. It's just between us. It's a secret. I would literally pull my shirt out and go, and I just give myself a squirt. I don't know why. I just smelt it, and it just literally popped in my head.
Well, I am smelling it too. So,
But my Nana wore that too.
I think that what they're my stage is really just enhancing what Kelly just said. So one of the first things I'm kind of hearing is good fences make good neighbors, which is again about boundaries. And then, but what they first showed me is I'm a horse person, so I understand anything to do with horses. And they are showing me I have a dressage ring on my stage.
Nice.
Dressage is done with a little teeny fence. So they have a fence that's maybe a foot and a half high at the most. A horse could easily walk over it.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually keep the horse in. It just defines the area of play. The area, and they don't play. They dance in that area actually.
Right. And she is dancing all around this. That's what she's doing. That's what this is. She's dancing all around it like the dressage. That's so good, Terri.
And they're saying, so also dressage has the alphabet all around the ring, and they have to, in this dance that they do, they have to go to a certain letter and they have to then make a certain gyration, and then they go to another one. And but it is all about the boundaries. So they're saying, I think by saying a dressage fence, they're saying something very soft. A boundary that you can easily walk over, a boundary that they technically could walk over too, but because they are spiky, the person that you're having trouble with is spiky, they're saying you do need to put some soft boundaries. And when they start trouble, you're like, oh, come over to part A, and then let's talk. And they have to go over to part A, and it's taking them a time to get there, and then you can talk. And dressage is all about good manners. So I think they're telling you to have good manners, to have a fence there, to be able to say, just like what Kelly said, I only have 10 minutes. Can I help? Can you tell me right now, or can this wait? Or I'm so sorry you feel that way. And then go on to something else. Right. Own their own feelings. Dressage is a skill where that you are never yanking on the horse's mouth. You will never see them kick their horse. So you will never see their boots move. You will never hardly see their hands move. It's about telegraphing to the horse what you want. You sit deeper in the seat. You go a little bit forward. You are telegraphing to the horse, and they're saying you need to use these little fences to telegraph to them what you want from them. So some of their upsetness is them saying, oh, I hate that, that's awful, just stay away from me. And you having to say, oh, I'm so sorry, could you just step down to B and we'll be okay. It's very calm down at B, Yeah, so I'm going to stop here and let you discern about the dressage fence.
Well, no, because I think it's really interesting, right? So Spiritual Rain has just put in the chat here, Terri, I do have soft boundaries. I feel too empathetic, have such a hard time with dressage. Love what you said, testing the waters, so to speak. And again, you know, this is what I got. But all of the stuff that I said before and all the stuff that Terri just said sort of came out. So we've got the Knight of Water. So I'm not sure if this is the person that you're having a problem with, meaning a water sign, but or maybe you're a water sign, but this is about being sensitive and wearing your heart on your sleeves and getting hurt easily, whether it is about you're sensitive because they're sensitive, or the whole situation is sensitive, or you're walking on eggshells, as you said, around the people. That's coming out in the cards, right? We've got the Ace of Air again, communications, adjustments, and inspiration. So hopefully we can inspire you here with something, right? We have the Three of Air, which is heartbreak. It's heartbreak, it's sorrow, it's forgiveness, but it's also the moment to allow healing to commence, right? And I do want to point out that Spiritual Rain had said that we both started smelling that perfume that her aunt wore and she was a victim of domestic abuse, which my mother was as well, which I just think that was really interesting. So maybe your aunt is around you at this time, Spiritual Rain, sort of, giving you some support. I've got the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck. This is about using your intuition and your patience, right? That inner wisdom that our ancestors give us. The next card I got was Shamanic Healing. That's cleansing and attunement, right? This is all about cleansing and releasing and just letting all this, like not letting it build up. Way easier said than done. I understand. We have from the third eye chakra, this is presence. Okay. Awareness, attention, connection, and reality. So either there is someone around you, like your aunt, why we smelt the perfume maybe, trying to let you know that she's there with you, she supports you, she has your back, maybe you're aware that she's with you, or this is about your presence in the situation, right? Again, sort of tying into that High Priestess card, using your intuition and your inner wisdom to navigate this situation, sort of lifting yourself up above it instead of trying to figure it out in a 3D kind of way. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what my head told me. I literally got 4 cards from the Empath Empowerment deck, and I know that we're at an hour and 22 minutes, which is 22 minutes longer than we were supposed to be here. We still have some questions to answer, so I see that Lady Soul is here, and someone else has put L and R. I'm sorry, we closed the questions a while ago, so I apologize that we can't take your questions at this moment. So I want to try to go through this as quickly as I can, but still for Spiritual Rain to get the messages. Enjoy the tranquility of water. So to remove stress, immerse yourself in a soothing bath, walk near a body of water, or gently splash water on your face. So that might be something that you could do, or maybe you can meditate or visualize and imagine yourself near water or in water when these situations arise. You know what I mean? It might be a way that you can soothe or calm yourself. The second card I got is Forgive Yourself. Don't become a hostage to the past by berating yourself for your choices. Make amends, forgive your own shortcomings, and keep moving towards a beautiful future. And again, I don't know your situation, but I feel like you're taking some of this blame onto yourself, and I think that's why that card came out, telling you that if you did something, if you said something, if something happened, it happened. You don't have to own that for the rest of your life. If you've accepted responsibility for it, if you feel like you had something to do with it, that's okay. You're a human being. You are not perfect. Sorry to say, right? None of us are. It's okay for you to have made, maybe not the greatest choice, accept it and allow yourself to be free from that, if that makes sense. Bye, Allie. See you on Tuesday, or actually see you tomorrow. I will mention to everyone about tomorrow, Allie, my friend. Blessings to you. The last, second or third last card is opinions are the lowest form of knowledge, as I said before, right? Do not be thrown off by others' opinions. Simply say, I appreciate your input, and do what intuitively feels right for you. So tapping into the High Priestess again, right? She, Spiritual Range says, water is my sign. I live by a river. Hydrotherapy. I am taking the blame. Maybe I'm not speaking right, not acting right, not thinking right. This is the madness. It's emotionally exhausting. The reason why it's emotionally exhausting, Spiritual Rain, is because let's just break down that last statement. I am taking the blame. Maybe I'm not. Right? So I am taking the blame. Great. Why are you taking the blame? Why are you owning that? Because look at what you said. I'm not speaking right. I'm not acting right. I'm not thinking right. You have owned this whole situation as if it is your fault. Change all of that around. Get that big black marker out and just scratch it all that out. That's negative, 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 negative. You got to stop that spinning hamster wheel with the negativity, because as soon as you say that, you are acknowledging that you are accepting blame. And when you beat yourself up or blame yourself, right, it is very hard to lift yourself up out of that negativity. And so every time another issue arises, what happens? Boom, that cycle repeats itself. It's my fault. I must have done something. I must have said something. You know, I laughed. I smiled. I put lipstick on today. It must have been the way I did my hair. I mean, literally everything is your fault, right? So you have to be very, very careful. It's part of the cognitive behavioral therapy that I took for my anxiety and depression, where you literally work on changing the words that you take in to have them be absorbed in a more positive way. So you literally take the negative words out and interject more positive words to make it just feel more uplifting, right? So it doesn't affect you in a negative way. And it's something that I've had to work on consciously, consistently, and consecutively, so that I don't like the word mistake. If you ever listen to me do a reading and I have mistake on the card, I say it says mistake, and I don't like that word. Because if I think of something as a mistake, I will beat myself up, because why did I do that? I know better. I shouldn't have done, you know what I mean? I have to be very careful personally not to do that. Anyways, I digress and move on. Let yourself receive support. It's a beautiful image, is it not? It's often easier for empaths to give than to receive. Allow others to support you. Experience the pleasure of their caring energy. And you had said before that because you're an empath, you feel all of this stuff. You can feel it, but you can release it, and you are not responsible for other people's thinking pattern. Right? You're not responsible for it. You know what, Spiritual Rain? Honestly, I want you to email me. We're going to talk about this, right? We're going to talk about this. But that's what I got for you, is for you to do some cleansing, to be aware of your surroundings, set up some soft boundary or soft boundaries for yourself, as Terri was saying. Forgive yourself. Understand that opinions are the lowest form of knowledge, because they're based on no evidence or fact. And to allow yourself to receive support in the form that it's offered. Yes, darling.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course. Add away, my friend.
Letting me go with this. I would like to let it go, but they're not letting me.
Yeah.
So those dressage fences that I talked about can be what is called one-liners. And I'm like the queen of one-liners.
Right.
And so what you want to do is go back and think about some times where this happened to you, and think about one line that you could say something like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way. You know, I
Right.
let's talk about this," or something like, "Wow, that is super interesting. Hey, what about those Raiders?" You know,
Yeah.
just one-liners that can divert to the other dressage place. You know, something that can help you let go and let them own their own problem, because it's with them, it's not with you. And I've had to do this, and sometimes I
Well, you froze up there a bit. You're
harder
buffering a bit there.
than some of the people in my family.
Sorry, you
Oh,
buffered a
sorry.
bit there, so
Um,
we didn't hear what you said.
okay. I was going to say that sometimes apologies are appropriate, not all the time, but sometimes. And my spiritual beliefs are, of course, way broader than my family's.
Right.
And so sometimes I have offended my sisters who are more Christian in their beliefs, and I've had to say, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Um, my beliefs are a little broader, but you are entitled to your beliefs,
Yeah.
you know, and let it go.
Yeah.
And that, that way I apologize, but I also let them know this is my belief.
Yeah. No,
You,
100%.
yeah,
It just, the road is difficult there when it gets to that, and that's why I said, right, like, honestly, and I'm not being smart, I could spend a whole hour and a half talking about this. And Terry's already read for an hour with Allie today. We're at an hour and a half. um I want you to know, Spiritual Rain, seriously, feel free to email me anytime. I'm happy to help or talk to you in any way that might be beneficial, because I literally have lived what you're talking about. So I think that I might have something to offer. But we have two more questions. So Lisa, and then we have Lise. So I'd like to get Terri out of here before the 2 hour mark. God love her. I thank you so much, Terri. I'm so sorry that this has gone so long. So we have Lisa here. I would like to know what my spirit guides have for me. Feel there is a message, but I can't understand it.
okay.
And I do want to mention that Spiritual Rain said, Terri, yes, the one-liner is very smart. I tend to get defensive.
They're a great way to stop being defensive,
Yeah.
but being defense, like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, I get that, but I'm not going to go over to your side of the fence.
absolutely.
Mhm.
My email's in the description box, Spiritual Rain, if you're interested. I can still smell that perfume. I wonder if it's your aunt, Spiritual Rain, trying to let you know that, or trying to communicate in some way that she feels like you're almost being abused in a way. Maybe you're abusing yourself, or the situation is making you feel like you're abused. You know what I mean? Like you're being pushed around and told what to think and how to feel and all of that kind of stuff. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why she's like I could smell it. It keeps wafting across my nose, and I love it, but it's a lot.
Well, Lisa, I'm getting that you need a little bit more self-care in the form of meditation. Now, I'm not saying you have to meditate. There's many, 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 many ways to meditate. Whatever appeals to you, go. But for some reason, they're bringing up really strongly to me, like they're not letting out of my sight. They're not letting go of the vision. But Susan Lynn, on her video, you can go to her YouTube, and if you go to I'm pretty sure in her playlist, she has some meditations, and Susan Lynn has this really, really wonderful meditation where in fact, you can do anything else and just listen to it. You can even fall asleep and listen to it and it's going to work. But she goes to this meditation where she cleans your physical body, your etheric body, your spiritual body. She just goes through this lovely, lovely cleaning. And you know how that there's those machines that you can use to depill a sweater? It's almost like she's doing that. In fact, she kind of even says that in part of it, like I'm running this wand, and you can hear it just snap, snap, snap the wand, and it's really suggesting that you may want to listen to that to give yourself a little bit. It's kind of like a spiritual bath. It's kind of like a little spiritual cleaning. They're saying that's good for everybody once in a while to listen to that. It's one of my very favorite meditations when I am having a hard time focusing.
Right.
You know, where I don't need to focus, I just need to participate in it.
Yeah.
But they are suggesting that a little bit of meditation is good. Even if it's like you're stirring the pot while you're cooking and you're letting your mind kind of go soft and letting information in or out. Yeah, so that's their suggestion for you.
I don't know if you guys seen it. So I was shuffling this card of decks. Hello, deck of cards. This is what this is called. And I had a card literally flip up and go back inside, but it was upside down. And this is the card, right? That's the card, and this is the back of the card. So I didn't see it because it looks very similar to the back of the card. And then I was like, hey, wait a minute. Like, and then I don't know if you've seen me. I was like, where is it? I'm just laughing at myself. Sorry. Lisa, this is what I've got for you. And I think that this is really interesting for you. So we have the Six of Fire or the Six of Wands, right? This is victory. It's being seen. It's being recognized. It's success. It's about your self-esteem, right? That's the energy coming in from the past. I feel like that card represents that you thought you were somebody. And when I say that, what I mean is you felt that you were successful, that you had accomplished what you set out to accomplish, right? Then in the middle, we have the Nine of Air. This is sleepless nights. This is anxiety. This is negativity. It's worry. It's, literally keeping you up at night. So whatever has happened that has caused that, I feel like I don't know how to say this. I get it because I've done that for years myself, but I don't know how to articulate it. I feel like you may be back there. Like, why can't I have that? Why can't I be that person? Why can't I be like I used to be? Like, I feel like you're doing that, right? I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like thinking of how things used to be, almost wishing that things were the same as they used to be, which is what's causing the anxiety, right? The sleepless nights, the worry, the negativity. The King of Fire. So I'm not sure if this represents someone in your life, a male that is a fire sign, or perhaps this is just the energy. It's lovely. The King of Fire is warm. He's inspirational. He's thoughtful. He's charismatic. He's innovative. He's the business owner, the idea guy, thinking of all kinds of let's do this. Let's try that. Let's do this. Let's try that. It's lovely, uplifting, sort of like, think about like the idea of when you first fall in love and, the person calls you up and says, hey, do you want to go here? And you get all like, oh yeah, like that's so exciting. It's kind of like they have that kind of power, that kind of energy, right? On the bottom of the deck, I've got the Ace of Water. This is about your emotions. It's all about your emotions. It's about your intuition, listening to your gut instinct, and allowing that to be a guide, trusting in that. Because right now, I don't think that you're trusting it at all. You may be second guessing it an awful lot. And it's about your relationships. That's what that card is about. You have people around you that care about you an awful lot. And if you reside in that negative space, it makes it very difficult for them to love you. It makes it difficult for anyone to love anyone who is in a negative space. So we have balance from Archangel Gabriel. Finding that balance in our life, which is so difficult to do. So difficult to do, but it is so necessary. We have reflection, which again is pointing to those two cards that came out first, that thinking back. It's okay to think back. It's okay to remember the past. It is okay to even dream about things that used to be, or be nostalgic about the past. I understand that thought process. For 10 years, not to turn this into my story, but it's the only way that I know how to explain where I'm trying to go with this, or why I think this came out. For 10 years, I literally sat here and thought, I don't like who I am. I want the old Kelly back. I am a shadow of who you guys have listened to my channel long enough. You've heard me say this many a time. I am a shadow of the person that I once was. I miss her. When is she going to come back? Right? I am broken. How many times have you all heard me say that? Why? Because I'm living back there somewhere. I am comparing present to behind me, thinking that she was all that in a slice of bread, thinking that that time was the best time ever. This is the best time ever. Right now, what we're doing right here, this is the best experience of my life. And if I didn't get I'm going to swear, avert your ears, if I didn't get my head out of my butt and start living in the present moment, I would have missed this. Friends, I would have missed it. And how awful would that have been? Please don't do that to yourselves, anyone who's listening, but specifically for Lisa. Reflect is fine, but the present's where it's at. The present is where it's at. The last card that you got is Traveling Lightly. Simplify your life. Sometimes the hardest thing that we have to do is getting out of our own way. And I don't mean to imply that you are intentionally being a roadblock to your own progress. But sometimes just saying, you know what, this is what happened. It bites. Sucks the big one. But it is what it is. And gosh darn it, I am awesome. I am brilliant. I am resilient. I am going to turn my worrier into a warrior, and I am going to grab a hold of my life and enjoy every single gosh darn second that I can. Because why? You deserve it. That's it. That's all. Let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Because all of this worry and all of this negativity, and this goes for anyone in any situation, all it does is torture you. Doesn't change the situation, doesn't make it any better. It tortures you and everyone who loves you. So try to find some balance that allows you to just go about your day in a way that makes you happy. Because all you're responsible for is today. Try looking at it from that way. Simplify your life, my love. Simplify your life. That was a lot. I apologize. Sorry. I get on tangents because I feel so passionately when I hear anyone say that they are struggling, or when the cards say that someone is struggling, because I've been there. I know what it's like to beat yourself up consistently and constantly and over again. It's a lot of crap. It's hard. She says, Lisa says, okay, I changed a lot, but I don't want to go back to the past. I can't allow my abusers back into my space. I totally have been released from them and became myself. I get stronger each day. That is awesome. That is awesome, Lisa. And I'm proud of you. That took a lot of courage and a lot of work, obviously, to get to that point. So I'm proud of you. And if that whole thing didn't make any sense and didn't resonate with you, that's totally okay. I love that you have shared that with us, and I'm very proud of you, because that's not easy to do, to get up and past that situation, right? It's beautiful.
You know, Kelly, the whole time this particular reading, I keep feeling like we're reading for everybody right now.
Yeah.
It feels very collective.
It does. It does.
And I heard at the very end, when you're talking, I heard like, get rid of the scorecard. The one that you're saying, I did this bad, I did this bad.
Yeah.
Get rid of the scorecard. Scorecard does not matter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I love that, Lisa. She says, I finally have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Because you know what? I say that all the time as well. Having a voice, or finding your voice again, is such a powerful tool in so many different aspects of our life. It really is an amazing sort of experience to experience again when you find your voice again.
And I think that Gabriel card, the Angel Gabriel card, is a huge part. Even if that's the only thing you get out of this reading, because the Angel Gabriel is about communication. He blows his horn to communicate. So that's an acknowledgement of your voice.
Right, and blue is the color of the chakra for the throat. So there you go. I totally didn't even get that, but see, there you go.
Yeah.
So Lisa's our last question. Thank you, Lisa, for being so patient and waiting all of this time. Thank you for everyone for being here and for being so patient. Lisa's question is, what do my spirit guides want to tell me today? And hi, Joe Smo. Hi, Joan B. Joe Smo has just popped in and said, so Terri, I just watched your first video. How has your gift matured? Well, hopefully Terri has enough energy after this question to be able to answer that, because we've been here for an hour and 48 minutes.
So, yeah, they definitely have matured. So, but let me concentrate on Lisa for a second here.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, they are short and to the point here. They're showing me a cast iron pan, a frying pan, and they're saying, don't jump from the pan into the fire. So I don't know what you're thinking about doing recently, but they're cautioning you. Don't jump out of the pan just to be thrown into the fire.
So interesting that you said that.
And they're there with you. Just remember that even if you do make a decision that suddenly dumps you out of the pan and into the fire, you will always be pulled back eventually to the right path. So this is all about learning, but they're just trying to help you save a little bit of singed hair
Yeah. Such an interesting. There are times when I pull cards that I'm constantly amazed at the things that come out. And I don't know why this happens to me as often as it does, but I often find that when I'm doing a reading, I will have similar color cards come out. So that is all is like in the same area. And I don't know why that happens, but I just thought I'd mention. So Lisa, I start out with the 3 of fire. So it's interesting because you said about the fire in the pan, and literally that's what I've got. So this is about your goals. This is about your vision, the plan, right? You're at that point where you have thought about what you want, you have manifested what you want, you have put something together about what you want, but you literally are at the point where you can almost see it right in front of you. You know what I mean? Like you've worked hard. It's almost right in front of you. It's almost like you can reach out and grab it, but not quite. So you're not quite there, but you're right on the doorstep is what I want to say. So keep thinking about how you get there, what you want, how you want it to be. Keep manifesting that. Keep visualizing that. Keep thinking about it. Keep expanding the imagination and the thought process about whatever it is that you are going after, right? The Queen of Earth. This is the natural born healer. This is the hardworking parent. This is the person that has their hands in all the cookie jars and is handling the situation like a champion, right? They are the person that the community goes to. They are the person that they know that they can drop in at any time and ask for a shoulder, right? She is all in her graciousness and her capabilities and her practical ways, and people sort of are magnetized to her, right? She is that kind of energy, and I feel that my emails are going off. Sorry. I feel that that's what this message is for you. To keep your vision, keep expanding, keep doing what you do. We have the Page of Water. This is about being open-hearted and being sensitive, using your intuition, but to keep your emotions in check. That your emotions don't make you react or make you think a certain thing, right? To stay grounded, so that your emotions don't. Oh, you poor thing. You know what I mean? Like that kind of an idea. So if you're empathic, be careful of that you keep your emotions in check to help you, right? We've got the cicada, using your voice, throat chakra, right? The throat chakra also controls the hearing and the listening. Don't forget, right? Hearing and listening. Next, we have the butterfly, which is regeneration. So I go to this card again, the water, the regeneration, the flow, the soothing sort of motion of that, right? It's refreshing, right? The tide coming in and the tide coming, or like it coming in and it going back out again, right? The waves, that whole sort of flow is very rejuvenating. It's very cleansing. It's very soothing. It's very tranquil. There's something in that for you. We have vast vistas. Expand your horizons. Literally, that's come out twice. So whatever you're thinking of doing, whatever you're planning, whatever you've got in your head that you want, whatever you think is coming up next for you, keep focused on that. Stand in your power. Look at that. I mean, seriously, it's just the cutest card ever. Happiness. Happiness.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a way to end a show, that's the card to end it with, right? Happiness. Be happy. You deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be happy. They want to see you with a smile on your face. Put the smile on your face. Go for your dreams.
Yep.
Amazing. That's what I got for you. I think it's beautiful. Go after it, my friend. Go after it. That's what I want to say. I love that.
Yeah, that's great reading.
Hi, Crone Zone. Spiritual Rain says, I have to walk the doggies. You two ladies are wonderful and generous. Kelly, I'll send you an email. Thank you. Night, night to my chat friends. Thank you, Spiritual Rain, for hanging out with us today. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Normally that doesn't take that long, but it was, I was feeling it today. Thank you so much, Terri, for hanging out with us for an extra hour, especially after you already read with Allie for an hour. So I appreciate it. I know it's exhausting.
Well, you're welcome, and it still was a lot of fun. And I'm finally warming up. If you notice, I only got one shoulder covered.
I love it. Terri, what's coming up for you this week, my friend? Where can people find you if they're looking for you?
Well, I actually have a pretty exciting adventure in store this week. So on the 26th, Wednesday, I am going to be on with Dr. Gail, Skywalking with Moon, and I am going to tell my ET story, which I haven't told before. I mean, some people who know me, who like, I guess I've practiced with, they may know it, but I've never told it in public before. I'm going to tell it, and I'm bringing pictures.
Nice.
So not camera snaps, but anytime I'm out there and I'm doing a spiritual adventure, if it's weird enough, I will draw it.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. And so that's on Wednesday?
Wednesday. I think it's 3 o'clock Pacific time. So probably what, 6 o'clock Eastern?
Awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm horrible with the time zones. I only know my own time zone. I do want to say that that's interesting about Dr. Gail. I love Dr. Gail. Dr. Gail is coming to Dozen Cats, oddly enough, just because you mentioned. So this week, because it's going into Halloween and we're doing all the spooky stuff, So Dr. Gail, Nancy Jean's from Nancy Jean's Garden, and Scott Spiritual Essence will be joining me. We're going to do a pre-recorded segment because we can't get all of our schedules to coordinate, where we will be talking about ghosts and unexplained things. And that will play this coming Saturday. And then on Sunday, Dr. Gail will join me live here for Sunday Connections, where we will discuss what we did in the recording, in the pre-recorded video. And then, of course, take questions from the chat. So I look forward to that because Dr. Gail is awesome. She's awesome. I've shared the screen with her at Nancy Jean's Garden before. She's lovely. I love her to bits. And on Wednesday, we have Anna Banana and Cartomancy Mesquite joining me here at 9 p.m. Eastern for some Halloween readings. We've got a whole little spread worked out, so I hope that you guys can join us for that. And of course, Tuesday, Circle of Friends, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, for some new moon readings. And Monday, Literally Friends, I will be on Valerie from Illumination Portal channel at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then I go from there to Heart and Soul Connected with a bunch of other readers doing readings on Diwali, the Festival of Lights, and that's at 3 p.m. So pretty much if you open up YouTube, you will find me somewhere is pretty much what Kelly was saying. That's where I was going. Of course, there's all the daily reads. The weekly wellness reading was put up this morning. If anyone wants to check that out. Thank you so much, Terri, for being here. I love you lots, and I appreciate your friendship and your gift. You are wonderful, and you always just make me feel like literally I could sit here for hours with you. I really could. You probably are ready to fall apart because you've been reading for so many hours already today. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for being here. Thank you for sharing the love. This was a great session, and I really felt that in the chat that everybody was working together, and I appreciate that so much. Makes my day when I see that. Truly it does. So from us to you, until we see each other again, many blessings. Mwah! Bye, everybody.
Bye.